everybody, I'm Adriano Gurley. This is Oklahoma City Thunder Talk, Episode 2. We are talking, obviously, the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm an Oklahoma City Thunder fan here from Ontario, Canada. Also talking about NBA news around the league. The second half of the NBA season just kicked off. We look at our Oklahoma City Thunder, of course, kicking off the second half with a win against Dallas Mavericks last night. And a huge win, putting the Thunder in a playoff spot, tied with the Phoenix Suns at 29 and 25, the 8th seed. It's a perfect thing for the Thunder. Finally, after so many missed games with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, you got like Perry Jones, and even when Reggie Jackson was on the team, we'll get to that news in a minute. The Thunder fell behind, and now finally back into shape, back into playoff form. Obviously, them and San Antonio, along with the Clippers and the Mavs, are the bottom 4 seeds in the playoff hunt. But that's okay as long as you get in the playoffs. It's always a good thing. Anything can happen. Obviously, the Thunder being the 8th seed, we don't likely see them getting a top 4 seed. You never know, but it'll be tough to go on the road and beat these top teams, especially with the home court advantage as well. So we'll see what happens there. A lot of season left to go, another 27 games to go in this season. You look at the Thunder yesterday with the big trade, obviously. Thunder trading away Reggie Jackson, who wanted out. He declined the extension of 4 years, $48 million. It's a lot of money for Reggie Jackson, who was, he's done well, but, his role on the team wasn't there because of the trade we made for Dion Waiters, who came in and now is our 6th man coming off the bench. Waiters, streaky player, but he can score. He's a good consistent scorer most of the time. He can play some pretty hard ball defense as well, so that's why we brought in Waiters, another guy off the bench who can contribute. But Jackson wanted out. Jackson wants his own team. He wants his big money, and there's no disrespect for that. You got to let him go and let him do what he wants. And he got what he wanted, so we traded Reggie Jackson to the Detroit Pistons, and we got in return a good veteran point guard in DJ Augustin, who has played well in the absence of Brandon Jennings, and we also saw DJ Augustin in his stint down in Chicago last season with the injury to Derrick Rose, of course. He's played well, and he'll fit great in that backup role, obviously behind Russ. And if you look at Kyle Singler, a guy who can stretch the floor, big, not too big, but he's a tough guy in small forward position, also can knock down a 3. So that's always a good option with Kyle Singler. Now you look at, it's tough to lose Kendrick Perkins, who's the heart and soul of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and, a fan favorite of mine as well. And Perkins, he brought in that toughness. He wasn't a scorer guy, but he brought in the toughness as a big man. And, he can guard those big guys and give them some trouble. And that's why we love Perk. He's the heart and soul of that defense. And that's why we brought him in when we traded Jeff Green back in 2011, 2012 there. So I'm fortunate to lose Perkins, fan favorite as well. And we'll miss him dearly. Reports are saying he will sign somewhere with like Chicago or Cleveland, that sort of team. The Clippers as well. So we'll see what happens with Kendrick Perkins. We wish him well. He was great for our team, and we'll miss him dearly. I know Scott Brooks is a big fan. I know KD and Russ are, sad to see him go as well. And the rest of the guys, I know no one's sad to see Reggie Jackson go, but, that's what he wanted, and he got what he wanted. In return for Kendrick Perkins, also we traded away Grant Jarrett and a right to a developmental guy as well. So in return, we got 22-year-old Enes Kanter, who was a great offensive threat. He was fantastic for the Utah Jazz down low post scoring. That's what we've been needing. The Oklahoma City Thunder has been missing is a low post scorer. You've seen what Serge Ibaka can do in terms of his scoring. We need him for defense, but he's a good jump shooter, and he was attacking the rim yesterday. I don't know if anybody had watched the game yesterday, but Serge Ibaka was attacking the rim with rebounding, and that was fantastic. A lot of tip-ins, a lot of rebounds, putbacks. He was perfect last night. He had, double-doubles there. He had a perfect double-double with over 20 points and 22 rebounds. That's fantastic, and that's what we need from Serge. Not every night, but now that our bench is, I think it's complete. If you look at the bench now, you look at who's coming off the bench. You got Dion Waiters, Enes Kanter, okay, Anthony Morrow, who was fantastic shooting the 3 last night. That's what we need him to do. Augustine, Kyle Singler, Mitch McGary, the emergence of him, Nick Collison, Steve Novak, who we also received from the Utah Jazz in that trade. So you look at, we have a lot of options off the bench. I don't see Scott Brooks putting Enes Kanter in the lineup yet. I do see Nick Collison still starting just for chemistry purposes. You got to get used to the system and whatnot. So I see Colliton starting, obviously in the absence of Steven Adams, of course. When Adams comes back, Adams getting that start and roll back. I don't think you can mess up the chemistry, but Adams deserves to. Obviously, defensive, he's feisty, he can run the floor, fantastic. He's played well, Steven. I love him. Obviously from Pitt, I'm a Pitt Panther fan as well. So Steven will probably start still in that role. Andre Robertson, another guy, he's had issues offensively. We know offensively he's not very strong, but he can produce in a way. But also with Andre Robertson, his defense, a younger version of Thabo Sefolosha, if you will. But Sefolosha was able to shoot the ball. So that's what Robertson can do, but it's okay. He comes in for the first 5-6 minutes, and then Waiters comes in, and you don't see Robertson go back in unless at the end of the quarter or to start the quarter as well, in the third quarter as well. So that's what Robertson is for. That's why we got in Waiters. Okay, you got DJ Augustine now, Kyle Singler, Anthony Morrow. So that was a good trade for us in that manner for the Thunder. Hopefully that put us over the top. Going through the playoffs, it'll be tough. As a lower seed to win on the road, it'll be very tough. Obviously our chances are more significant of winning, but now we'll see. We'll see. I really like the additions. It'll help us tremendously. Those guys. You look around the league, so many trades went down. Obviously. Yesterday, especially at the 3 o'clock mark, you look at the big news down in Miami, Goran Dragic and his brother Zoran going down to Miami. Miami's finally got that point guard. They got that point guard. No disrespect to Mario Chalmers and North Cole got shipped out to New Orleans, but they got the guy. He's a star. All-star. I think he's an all-star, Goran Dragic. Finally, him and D Wade, can do some damage together. Luol Deng, a former all-star as well. Okay, Bosh, unfortunate with Chris Bosh, what's happening with his chest. He's got, the blood clots there. If he's out for the year, you're questioning if, Miami's going to go for. Is Bosh that anchor man? You need Bosh. Bosh down low, he can do everything. So, we're wishing him well. Hope you're feeling better. Chris Bosh, he's a big-time player. He's an all-star champion, right? So, if he is okay to play, if I don't know his situation, but Miami be a big threat, though. Miami be a big threat to anybody, and they could potentially knock off a top seed and maybe even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You never know, right? But you look out east as well. The top teams didn't really make any moves. Atlanta didn't make any moves. Toronto. Washington made one move. Washington shipped out Andre Miller and received back Ramon Sessions, a younger guy. Okay, Andre Miller getting shipped out to Sacramento, obviously, because George Karl, former coach of the Denver Nuggets, had a good connection with Andre Miller back in Denver, so that's why they shipped him out there. So that was a decent trade for Washington, bringing in a younger guy, and Ramon Sessions also could shoot the ball too. That'll help him off the bench in backup of John Wall. Chicago didn't make any moves. Milwaukee made a big-time move. Getting rid of Brandon Knight, he shipped out to the Phoenix Suns. Okay, they brought in Michael Carter-Williams from Philadelphia. They brought in Tyler Ennis and Miles Plumlee. The Milwaukee Bucks are on the rise. They're already in a playoff spot. I believe they are the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference. It's huge for them. And, could they knock off the top seed? Well, maybe. They have a chance. Never say never. But Milwaukee is on the rise for sure. Jason Kidd's done a bang-up job over there, especially with Antetokounmpo leading the way over there. Ersan Ilyasova. Okay, even Brandon Knight was doing very well there. All-star numbers. Now, obviously, they're missing Jabari Parker. So a lot of, good things happening in Milwaukee. You got to give them the credit over there. They're doing a good job. That was another big trade. Denver losing some guys, obviously. They got rid of Aaron Aflalo. He's down there in Portland. That helps with Portland. Another option of the bench for the Portland Trailblazers, okay? So, Portland's a dangerous team. They finally got Steve Blake off the bench and also Aaron Aflalo. Okay, so they dumped out guys that they weren't part of their future. So, it'll help out Portland. We'll see how far they go. I think they're still like the LA Clippers a bit. Their starting five is great. And then they got a couple guys off the bench like Hawes and Crawford. And then that's it after that. I mean, the Clippers didn't make any moves either. But short aside of that, we'll move back to the Thunder. And we look at their schedule right now. Obviously, last night, big win against the Dallas Maverick team, playoff team. They're a top-tier team. They're an elite team. They're very good. But we look at our schedule now. Tomorrow night, they play Charlotte Hornets. They got to win that one. And it's at Charlotte, but hey, You gotta knock off the teams that are beneath you. You gotta knock them off. Though not gimmies, but you gotta knock them off. So therefore, you got Charlotte Hornets, the Indiana Pacers, okay, the Denver Nuggets in the next 3 games, okay, those are huge. The next 2 games, the back-to-back starting tomorrow, Charlotte and then Denver, okay, at home Sunday, at home, and then at home to Indiana on Tuesday. And then finally, the big game on TNT, 10:30 this Thursday coming against the Phoenix Suns, right? Gotta win those games because Phoenix, we're tied with Phoenix now. We're tied. But I'll tell you what, this is another big thing. Since it's the division, you know what, and knock off Phoenix because, you know, now we're up 2-0 against Phoenix in the head-to-head status here. We beat them one more time. That's it. 3-1. All you got to do is have a better record than them, if not tie, and you win that tiebreaker. You're going to be ahead of them in the standings. That's all. That's what that game means right there. Obviously, Phoenix, they wanted to trade with everybody the other day. You know, they got rid of Dragic. They got, Isaiah Thomas is now in Boston. And, oh, man, what a mess. What a mess it was in Phoenix. They kept Bledsoe. I don't understand what their philosophy was from the start. They don't have a significant big man. Miles Plumlee's okay, but, you know, Gerald Green has been great for them. They had 3 guards. They had Dragic. They had Isaiah Thomas and Eric Bledsoe and they even drafted Tyler Ennis, and that makes no sense to keep that many point guards on your team. I mean, it's good to have depth, but there's obviously problems there, right? So they got the Morris brothers, you know, they're consistent in a way. PJ Tucker, okay. Now Archie Gowen's going to see some minutes more. So Phoenix is a mess. I don't know what they're doing, but that's all because of Dragic. He wanted out, and I don't blame Dragic. How could you play with, you know, that type of star potential in those point guards and play them all at once? I mean, that's a mess for Phoenix. That's good for us Oklahoma City Thunder fans as well. So after Phoenix, you know, then you look at the schedule down. We look at the Portland Trail Blazers. That'll be a tough game. That's a tough game the Friday night at Portland in a back-to-back situation. I mean, it'd be nice to win it. And to go to Sunday against the Los Angeles Lakers. That'll be on ABC. After the Lakers, you get the Sixers, Chicago Bulls, and the Toronto Raptors. Sixers is a gimme. Okay, it's a gimme. The Sixers are not very good. They traded away the best player. That makes no sense. They did receive JaVale McGee, though. I mean, I don't know about that. But then at Chicago, that'll be a Thursday night TNT game. That's a big game. And then at home against Toronto. I know Toronto, you know, they always play us tough, so that'll be a tough game as well. But looking at the Thunder, you know, we're looking very good, I think. 1-6 of the last 7, okay. Obviously, the loss to the New Orleans Pelicans against Anthony Davis's game-winning buzzer beater, okay, but that's okay. We'll hold our own. You look at the rest of the Western Conference, and if they made any moves, the only, you know, in the top 4 seeds, Portland made that one move with a follow. Golden State didn't make any moves. Memphis didn't make any moves, okay. So, you know what? We got a great chance. With those guys obviously coming forward, we got 2 full lines that can play. You know, you can give Russ a break. The thing about the Thunder is they got to get Kevin Durant as healthy as possible come playoff time. He feels sore. He's not at risk, as according to Sam Presti anyway. He's not at risk. But in the end, get him healthy for the playoffs. You know, if he needs a break, take him out, Scotty Brooks, and then roll with the other guys. Because these guys can play who we brought in, especially the guys who we already have in Collison, McGarry, Dion Waiters, and so forth, okay? I really hope the Thunder can do this. And we will talk more Oklahoma City Thunder talk. I'm trying to get a video coming on Sunday for Oklahoma City Thunder Talk Episode 3. I'm Adrian O'Gurley. Thank you so much here from Ontario, Canada. We will see you soon.